The Outdoor Legal Warriors. In this video, I'm going to cover how to deal with the hidden costs if you're accused of a crime. If you're interested in this area of the law, stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington State for more than 20 years, and I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get the help they need. I'm just going to jump right into it. Hidden costs if you're charged with a crime. What do you mean by that, Lance? I mean, costs is money, right? It's just money we have to worry about. We have to hire an attorney. We have to pay fines. If we get charged with a crime, what are you talking about costs? Well, what we find in our practice is that the biggest cost that someone goes through is the emotional cost that they have to deal with, their fears about what might happen. In this video, I'm going to try to go over several fears that may be in your mind if you're accused of a crime, or a loved one if they're accused of a crime, and what's likely really to happen, and how we can deal with those costs or fears if we are dealing with this long, drawn-out situation where we get accused of a crime. So I think the most troubling fear that I see out of people is how they think about themselves. They're so afraid that they're now a terrible person or that they've ruined their life because they've been charged with a crime. And I'm here to tell you that's not so, okay? Anybody can get charged with a crime. We get all types of YouTube commenters that are always, hard on people charged with crimes. And, it can happen to anybody. We represent people through all walks of life. And almost anyone in that situation thinks that they ruined their lives. They feel there's something wrong with them often, that they're defective. And that's a little bit of how our brain is designed to work, right? We sort of internalize all of our misdoings and think that we're defective. And usually it's not so. There's a reason why people get in trouble with the law or get accused of getting in trouble with the law. And it has nothing typically to do with being defective. It has to do with, how we respond to stresses in life. We're at a high anxiety time in the world. We're at a high financial pressure time in the world. And there's lots of ways that people can act out to sort of get a different bodily feel to that stress. Okay. Some people drink too much. Some people steal something. Some people get in arguments. Some people gamble. There's lots of ways we respond. But if you're accused of a crime, remember, you probably, and I'm here to tell you that there's nothing wrong with you. There's just something that happened and we just need to deal with it. So it's important to remember that our life is not over because we get accused of a crime, that we're not defective because we're accused of a crime, and that there will be a way forward. So number two, people are often worried about who's going to find out. Who's going to find out that I get charged with a crime or accused of a crime? That's sort of a social stigma type thing. And people that will find out are probably people that you tell, okay? In Washington State, at least, it would be very rare that something is going to be published in a newspaper. Most places don't have lists of arrestees with names, at least. There are some exceptions if it's a newsworthy case. But there's not an easily searchable database in most cases where we can find someone accused of a crime. So who's going to know is people that you tell. And what we want to move on from that. Well, what about family? Lance, number three, what will my family think about this? What should I do about my family? And I think this is a big issue that I see again and again over the last decades. Someone accused of a crime doesn't want to tell their spouse, or doesn't want to tell their partner, or doesn't want to tell who they're dating, or their children, or their parent. And there could be good reasons for that. But what I often tell our clients is don't decide for them what is best for them, right? Hey, I don't want to tell my parent I've got a DUI. Well, maybe they'll feel worse if you don't rely on them and don't give them a chance to help you than just being mad that you did something that puts you in a situation that now we have to deal with that situation. And so we always want to be safe, but usually we will be positively surprised by the people that care about us when they give them a chance to help us, right? People that care about us, we would assume most likely want to help us. How would you react if your loved one was in trouble with the law? Would you be really angry at them and pile on and try to destroy them? Hopefully not. Hopefully, while you might be shocked or upset to begin with, hopefully you'll find a way to try to help that person. And I usually advise people working with us, give the people you know and trust a chance to help you because you need their support right now. And what about your job, right? Will my job find out about this? So the job situation is usually an employer is not going to find out that you're accused of a crime, you're arrested or charged. Should you tell your job? Typically, we tell our clients, no, don't tell your job. There's exceptions. If you're in the military, we have certain requirements and duties we have to fulfill regarding what's going on. And so you're going to want to talk to your attorney. But usually we don't see the police calling up the employer and telling them about things, the court calling up and telling an employer about things. And if you've never been charged with a crime, you might think that happens, right? And it just doesn't happen. So as far as your job goes, they're likely not going to find out unless you tell them or someone else tells them who's like trying to cause you some problems. What's another fear that we see and we deal with? Well, will I be able to get an apartment in the future? Will I be able to find a place to live in the future? And for the most part, apartments and things like that, they may care about convictions, but I don't often see them caring about arrests. It varies. We can put in the comments, well, I couldn't get this or I couldn't get that. You're right. It's anyone who owns a certain place gets to do what they want. But convictions can cause us a lot more problem than a charge. So if we have a charge, we want to try to avoid a conviction. What about travel? Can I travel? Can I leave the state if I'm accused of a crime? Typically, yes. Typically, if you're accused of a crime, you can travel, you can go wherever you want. If you actually have a court date, the court may have told you to stay in the state. Only a few counties do that, but we tell our people, live your life like you normally would live your life, and let your attorneys or whoever is working with you on your case worry about the legal part while you worry about the life part, because it's not so easy to deal with. So hopefully that can cover one of the fears as well. I think another one that we need to cover is what's going to happen in court, right? That's a fear that we have, and the cost to us, what's going to happen in court? How much time is this going to cost me? How much mental stress is it going to cost me? Well, nowadays in Washington State, most of the court dates your attorneys can do for you. There's a new rule, 3.4, that lets your attorneys go to court for you most of the time. You need to check with your attorney, but for most court cases, the defendant's going to need to show up in person at the first court date and the last court date. And that's, at least as of fall of 2023, those are the rules that are in place right now in most courts. You need to check with your attorney about whether or not you have to go. But that's a nice change from COVID because there's new rules that can allow attorneys oftentimes to appear on behalf of clients. So what have we covered? We've covered emotional fears, family issues. We've covered jobs, right? Whether the public will know. And, court, how are we going to handle court? I think the final thing I want to cover about a cost, a hidden cost that's not money, is the cost of delay, right? The cost of delay, because any time that we are under something stressful, sometimes we want to put our head in the sand, right? So to speak, like the ostrich. And we want to procrastinate on things. And that's about anything stressful in life, not just, being charged with a crime or accused of a crime. And, the Stoics would say that the obstacle is the way, right? That we want to head towards the discomfort and go not around it, but through it. And so if something's going on legally, you're worried about an accusation, it's best to get moving on it now, right? Whether that be getting a hold of an attorney or doing classes, doing something where you're addressing the issue. Because the more we delay, the more emotional cost there's going to be to us, and actually more cost there's going to be to a much more negative outcome in your case, usually. So I hope this video has been helpful about covering how to handle some of the hidden costs if you're accused of a crime. And if you're out there and you need help, feel free to reach out to my firm. We'll listen to what happened, we'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.